live continuing tropical coverage on My Radar with Leslie Hudson.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for another update on post-tropical cyclone Nestor. It was tropical storm, it's not truly tropical, and so the National Hurricane Center, realizing it's barely got any kind of tropical characteristics whatsoever, has given it its new name, post-tropical cyclone, which we saw earlier on this morning. And as of 2 o'clock Eastern time, 1 p.m. Central time, the storm did make landfall here in Florida by St. Vincent's Island. That's in the Panhandle, about 10 miles or so west of Apalachicola there. So we have seen this storm move on through, and thus it is weakening. I'm going to show you what's going on here on our satellite loop. I'm going to take it a little bigger here so you guys don't have to squint. All right, so what you're seeing there in white is the cloud shield with the storm, and it extends. It's pretty massive. It goes all the way up through Tennessee, up through parts of the Mississippi River Valley, even parts of Kentucky, seeing some clouds and some rain associated with this storm. And I just wanted to point out how the western side of the storm here is getting some drier air wrapping in, and it's pretty dry. Hardly any rainfall on this side of the storm. And so this looks more like a cold front kind of low pressure system that you would see around this time of year. Up a little farther north, it's got that comma cloud looking shape, and it really doesn't have much for tropical characteristics left, but it is dumping a lot of rainfall here in the southeast part of the U.S. Florida has seen quite a bit of activity from this storm. I'll show you just the radar. We had some issues with the risk of tornadoes going on overnight last night into early morning. We had a confirmed tornado near Lakeland, Florida, in Polk County. That's just inland of Tampa. So about let's see if I can show you. Just east of Tampa, up near I-4. We'll show you some of that video in the fast forecast for your Sunday. But the rain beginning to taper off a bit here. Really, as the storms make this diagonal approach on the coastline, it triggers the rotation, and that's why we have the risk of seeing these quick spin-up tornadoes, very isolated in nature. A few warnings going off in other counties as far north as St. Johns County near St. Augustine, Florida. So definitely looking at that risk dwindling as we head into the end of our Saturday and the beginning of Sunday. But this rain will be shifting off further to the north through parts of Georgia and into South Carolina. A lot of rainfall near the Piedmont here and through Atlanta associated with Nestor. So those accumulations, however, have not been as severe as we thought they might be. Most of the rainfall happening offshore into the waters of the Gulf of Mexico. You can see over 10 inches of rain happening in the offshore waters near Tampa Bay. So it's a good thing that it hasn't fallen in such a mass quantity over land, but Central Florida getting a good deal of rain, probably over 2 inches and more in some places, 3 inches heading out towards Daytona Beach and down by Tampa, and these orange areas and pockets of red showing almost 5 inches of rain. Very isolated to find these heavier amounts of rainfall. But as we go on through the rest of today and into tomorrow, I expect to see more of these bright colors spreading up through Georgia and parts of the Carolinas, because the track will be taking us further out as we go on through the rest of this weekend. This is a very quick moving storm, 45 mile per hour sustained winds when it made landfall at the last advisory, moving east-northeast at 23 miles per hour. So this thing is booking it across the southeast coast, and it's going to be making its exit, cutting across Florida and Georgia as we head on through the rest of today. And then tomorrow, looking to make its exit out by Cape Hatteras and out large into the Atlantic Ocean there. So the good news is this will be out of our hair very soon, and it is weakening as it continues to move out. The pressure rising with the storm, so that low pressure system filling as it continues to move across. But we still have watches and warnings in effect. Not watches, but warnings for parts of the west coast of Florida. That's in this area here in purple. Tropical storm warning still in effect all the way down to the Suwannee River here on the southern extent of that. So a small area of the Big Bend, I expect that will be allowed to expire as we head into this evening. If not by the next advisory, then definitely by tonight, as the storm moves very quickly off to the northeast. That drier side of the storm that I showed you will begin to make its way over the panhandle of Florida, and we'll begin to see conditions improve as we head on through the rest of the afternoon. So if you're in the panhandle of Florida, anywhere down the west coast, things should be improving as we head on through today and especially into Sunday. If you're further north in the Carolinas, you're going to be seeing this rainfall continue for the rest of tonight and into tomorrow, and by Monday I'd say your conditions should be improving. We even were expecting to get some of this rain up into the Delmarva area, where we've already had some rainfall earlier on in the week into parts of the DC area. So we're going to get another dose of that there. Definitely have your umbrella on hand for Monday if you're in these areas. Okay, so talking about the storm and what else we could be expecting as we head on through the rest of today. Storm surge was a big issue. Oh, wait, I'll come back for you here. Where did I go? Okay, I'm back with you guys. So we had the concern of storm surge, particularly along the Big Bend and the Gulf Coast of Florida and the Panhandle, those regions. It's a pretty vulnerable geography out there. A lot of coastal estuaries and delicate areas there, coastal communities that were damaged when Michael came through, that saw damage when Hermine came through, a Category 1 hurricane back in 2016. So they're no stranger to the impacts of storm surge. And so we had the concern that we could see up to 5 feet above ground level with the storm surge. And thankfully, it doesn't look like Nestor is going to have any time to cause significant damage, but it has left an impact here in Florida so far. And you can continue to see the heavy tropical downpours continuing all across the southeast. The benefit with this is that these are very dry areas. We've been under a drought, severe drought in many places, even extreme drought in isolated areas. So this rainfall, we aren't going to get too much all at once, so the flooding concern is lessened as the storm has approached. We're grateful for that, but it is going to give us the much needed rainfall to help fight those drought conditions that we've seen across the southeast, so a benefit to that. Now, from here on out, of course, Nestor's moving on land. It will continue to weaken, and like I said, conditions will be improving. This is a weekend storm, so it'll be out of our hair very soon. We will continue to keep you updated here at My Radar. You can check us on our social media accounts or in your My Radar app. We have the fast forecast running for today, Saturday, and we'll have it again for tomorrow to bring you the updated weather, not just in the southeast where Nestor is wreaking a little bit of havoc, but also for the rest of the U.S., including the fall-like temperatures that are happening in not southerly places. Okay, guys, so that's going to be it for me today. We'll bring you updates with anything else going on with Nestor. For now, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Saturday evening. Take care.
Live continuing tropical coverage on My Radar.